Alright, we're back for the final stretch of the recap of the 10th Rayquaza Cup, run by the usual suspects. So here we are at the beginning of match 6. We are paired up with Phobos and Model Gecko. I skipped most of the draft phase just so we can get to the action quickly. And over on the opponent's side we have this EG team featuring Tempest, Nigo Kid, and Drazzard, and wouldn't you know it, it's our old teammates from back in match 2, Seabass and Spagnoli. So, this is going to be very interesting. Of course, Sokovan, myself, and Thundertoes are on the same old that we've been doing. We don't want to mix things up when they've been working quite well. Now, one thing that I thought was interesting is that our team has 3 defenders. Now, granted, only one of them has the experience share. It would have been cool to see Model Gecko on the experience share here so we could get a quicker Blastoise. At least everyone has their correct paths. I don't hate any of the items. Some of them are a little... Actually, yeah, the Shell Bell on the Ho-Oh, a little bit weird. But at least the other defensive items are pretty sweet here. And if you look at our opponent's team, they actually have no typed defenders. There's a lot of offense. So we're going to see how we do here. Now, I'm going to skip past the early part a little bit. So I picked up 2 in the first clear. I'm going to go score. I'm not being spastic with the X speed like I was in the first 2 or 3 matches where I would X speed before I get to the goal. I have a much better idea now of how much damage I can deal, how much I can take. And I do steal that indeed, which is huge. Do I get to score? I do. And of course, I'm going to go down almost immediately, I'd assume. Yeah. I might have gotten away if it hadn't been for the Electro Ball, but while I'm busy doing that, stealing their Indeedee, getting 2 stacks in, this Bulbasaur that Thundertoes is on probably wasn't getting disrupted much, and now they're pressing in with jungle support, but they don't know that, or I guess they found out, that our jungler is here. Alright, it looks like Thundertoes still is going to need the birds in order to level. I wonder what Sokovan was doing there. I think he was disguising his position, but as a result, no one was on the goal. They got a little score off on us. But we have our Ivysaur and we have our Combuskin, so this is good. I'm just running to get another stack, which I succeed at. We're going to go back, making sure to stay behind Thundertoes, at least I should be. Although he's not carrying too much more experience than I am, it's just a matter of principle at this point. Beautiful. Good secure with the Razor Leaf. They're pushing into us. We're going to have to be a little bit careful despite being on our goal. We're outnumbered. Just make sure they don't steal our farm. Let's see if we remember the midbirds here at the middle of the map at the 8-minute mark. It looks like I'm not going to be focused on them because I'm getting the rest of my stacks. 4 stacks is good. Oh, I unfortunately missed the steal on the Bunnelby. That would have been a guaranteed 5th stack. Thundertoes does go to the center there, but it looks like a lot of opponents are there. Nigo Kid's Delphox was heading up. Unfortunately, Thundertoes gets taken down. But otherwise, we look pretty strong here. Sokovan's almost hit level 8, which is a really big level for Blaziken. I do believe that's when he gets his Unite move and the ability to switch back and forth. I could be wrong. I am just a tank main, but I'm pretty sure it's 8. 1 after the evolution. Okay, so there's no way I'm scoring with 30 here. At this point, I'm just kind of checking to see what their defenses look like. I don't know if that was entirely necessary by me. Granted, there wasn't a lot else to do at that moment. I did have to pop my X speed there just to make sure I didn't give myself away needlessly. I should have remembered that the lane birds were coming up at 7 minutes and 20 seconds. But because I have Wish, all of the damage that the opponents are placing on us really doesn't matter at all. Unless they go all in. We can just retreat, heal up, and then come back. Which is really, really nice. And it's one of the reasons that Umbreon is so strong as a tank support double. See there, that Electro Ball would have been putting me close to dead there, but the Wish came off, and as a result I was not that close to dead. Unfortunately, we get the Reggie stolen. I was not doing the greatest job at zoning, which of course I don't have too many options. The only area denial that Umbreon has is the second foul play here. I don't know what exactly I'm doing here. I think I was just standing by so to see who needed a Wish, and it turned out to be me because I ate a Fire Spin. Yeah, I don't know if this was the cleanest play down here from us, because not a single one of us rotated toward the top. Not to take jungle and not to fight for the top Reggie. But because neither of the two goals have broken up there, the top Reggie isn't going to be the biggest deal in the world. I'm staying down here to guard the goal from getting dunked on, because that could be a lot of catch-up XP for the opponents, but Thundertoes rotated upward, and I hope that this means that we take the Regieleki. Whoa! That was a really weird Moonlight Prance there. I think my motive was, if I use it basically as soon as it's up, then it'll come back an extra time, and this will be a triple Moonlight Prance game. But that was maybe the least warranted Unite move I threw this entire tournament. Oh, I made a little bit of a mistake there heading up. Luckily, I bought so much time that they didn't get a chance to score, because we rotated back down after causing havoc up there in the top lane. So all is going according to plan. And now we're back at bottom for the objective. Now I'm hoping that Thundertoes and Sokoven aren't pushing up too high, because the opponents are not leaving the bottom lane. And we see, for the first time, at least on my screen, here at the bottom lane is the Saraledge is here. What's his name? Tempest, I believe. Ooh. That was spooky. Oh no, they managed to take down Sokoven there. And yikes. Yeah, the Delphox is actually being a menace. They don't have a true tank. Ooh, I'm about to get Unite back. Do I use it here? Yes. I can kill Nigo Kid and at least... No, I have to run away from Tempest. I can't threaten him at all with that HP. But we come back and get him. And here we see that our Blastoise Phobos, he's a Spintoise, which is really cool. Do we get these scores? Whoa, jeez. Spagnoli nearly kills Sokoven there. I go down with the idea that I was zoning for my team, but they still prevented Thundertoes from scoring, so that was really suboptimal zoning, and I think the problem was that there were so many enemies there that I shouldn't have been up there. Thundertoes and I should have retreated, but because I was pushed so far up, luckily Sokoven's just a god and he steals it from 3 opponents, so we get the objective, and Sokoven just gets away. So now there are 3 of us here at the top lane. Sokoven's giving up that bottom goal, which I guess is fine. The worst thing about it is, of course, they can choose the really big overscore. But it does open up catch-up experience for us later, and hopefully this doesn't get stolen, but they do have a Saraledge. Yeah, that's a little bit problematic. Great steal there from Tempest. Now we're just looking to chop down the Regieleki and avoid us getting chopped down in the process, which we succeed at. Yes, this is a little bit awkward. Who did I throw that wish onto? It wasn't me. I think it landed on Sokoven, which is quite unfortunate, because he was the one person at that time that didn't need healing. Seabass is dealing more damage onto our bottom goal here. We're trying to defend... No, we're not. So we've got 20 seconds before Ray. My priority... I have my Unite move. I'd love to have my level 12, because then I'd get Wish Plus. It's always nice to have those plus moves going into the Ray fight. I always love having level 12. Sometimes you're forced at level 11, but usually we find we're able to do it just fine, getting the levels up. I should hit level 12 within a few seconds here, so let's see how this goes. There's a fight breaking out at bottom that we were late to because we didn't expect to be fighting down there. So we are going to rip while our 2 tanks are distracting the enemy team over there. And unfortunately, Tempest has already demonstrated that he has great steal on the Saraledge, so we're going to have to pull back. The Urshifu Drazard was in the bush as well. So here I'm going to... I don't see any shields, but I'm going to Unite just to make sure we keep the momentum on our side. It was a great Solar Beam into the only passage that the opponents could take by Thundertoes here. And we wipe enough of them. Let's see if Tempest can steal. And luckily he could not. That would have been interesting. We probably still win, even if the Saraledge takes the Ray there. However, this just seals it, and the game is over, just like that. So well played to our opponents. It was nice to see Spagnoli and Seabass again. Unfortunately, they were on the wrong side of the teams this time around, but such is life. Anyway, let us move on to match number 7. Okay, before we move on to match number 7, just kidding. Here are the statistics real quick from the previous game, and we can move on after seeing these, just because I like to be consistent and show them. Anyway, let's move on to match 7 now, and here it is. Okay, real quick, what do we notice about the way that the draft went? Well, first, our team, unfortunately, our new teammates of Gamer Gabby and DJ Doggo? DJ Dog 045? We'll go with DJ Dog. One of them banned Blaziken, which is a little bit unfortunate, but we'll make do. Sokovan has a really good Urshifu, so we're going to be really all-rounder heavy, whereas in the last game we were very defender heavy. And what do you know? We've got Yujo, Dariel, and Cat Burglar, our very first opponents from match 1, paired up with our last teammates, Phobos and Model Gecko. So it's at this point of the tournament where we've played so many rounds that we start seeing a lot of familiar faces. So Yujo is back on his Blastoise. Cat Burglar, I believe, was on Sylveon before. I do not remember what Dariel was using. Model Gecko was definitely on Ho-Oh before, and Phobos was the Blastoise from the last game. But unfortunately, their Blastoise seems to have been taken by the other Blastoise we've already seen this tournament. So we're going to see how well we can do. And of course, the ranks are all mixed up here. So you can see our teammates are both... They have that little red corner on the top right of their Pokemon. That implies... I believe that they're in Expert. It might even be Great. So that is one of the complaints I've heard about Rayquaza Cup, especially if you're not 5-stacking, is you can just get paired with anyone from any rank. And that's true, but if we believe in our core well enough, then we should just be able to carry whatever. So here, it's interesting that DJ Dog just forgets what lane he's going with because he's playing the tournament with someone, so I just assumed that they'd remember they were going to the same lane, but that's alright. We'll make it work. I've got my 4 energy. I should not have basic attacked that. Now I have 6 instead of 4. There's a slight, ever so slight chance that I'm not able to score here. And unfortunately, I do have to use my X speed early this time, which means if even if I steal this, which I don't, which is pretty bad, my getaway tactics aren't going to be good enough. Unless they just are. Okay. So the good news, I guess, is that Ho-Oh doesn't have a lot of damage, and Rowlet, despite eventually having damage, it's not very good in the early game. So luckily we're able to secure that, but we're not doing fantastic. I don't know if Thundertoes was able to secure the top Indeedee. I could add up the points right now, but we did lose the bottom one, the contested farm. Let me see if I can score through this Rowlet. Yes, I can. Okay, so 2 stacks. And I take Foul Play, and we Foul Play away. And Sokovan's here, so the opponents can no longer push into us. We should be able to secure a lot of these birds. I think what happened there was Thundertoes might have been a little bit far from the secures when that happened. Okay, so I remember in the first or second game that Sokovan's Urshifu can dive really far, but sometimes it can be a little bit too far. So here I'm going to zone. The Ho-Oh backs off. It doesn't want to die. And we continue to try and take their farm while they're away. Fifth stack. That's more than I had to work with for most of last game, so that's fantastic. And now I have 5. I'm going to try and help get this Indeedee. Oh, but I used Fake Tears as if I really wanted to last hit that. Maybe just because I wanted that to go faster and I couldn't tell if they were in the bottom bush. That was sloppy. If I had 5, I easily scored through the Dodrio there, but I gave myself 10. I'm talking about energy here in terms of getting my 6th stack. So if I hadn't last hit that Indeedee, I wouldn't have had 10, I would have had 5. That would have been an easy score, and then my stacking is over. I get 6. This Dodrio, by the way, could probably just stack on me. In fact, it was probably in my best interest to let him do that and score 10 on him in return. Oh, but he doesn't... Okay. He just gets beamed down. We passed the Ho-Oh there, but I've got a one-track mind here, is that get that 6th stack, and then I don't have to worry about it again for the rest of the game. That was a cool little trick. The owl didn't move away fast enough, so what happened is I foul played past him, so that the second foul play that actually moves him closer to my allies. And now we're going to get a beautiful 28 overscore there. If we had been quicker at thinking there, Sokovan could have taken it to to 1, making for a 29 over score, but of course that's... The chances that the match ends with 1 point of difference are astronomically low, so we're completely fine. So now, do we rotate with all 3 is the question here, or do I anchor the bottom? And it looks like we're choosing to rotate with all 3. Our allies are getting pressed back to their goal, but that means the Regieleki probably isn't being ripped. And it was probably a mistake of me not to just scroll up and see if there was any action happening with the Regieleki. That was such a good Verdant Anger. Oh, they piled up so nicely against it. And so Thundertoes gets to score here. Of course, we're causing havoc. We won the Regieleki. I probably go down here. Never mind, they pulled off of me inexplicably. And now I'm going to get my wish off. Live because I got my Moonlight Prance. And now I'm going to start wishing people, myself first, so that we keep me alive. I've got the rest of the wishes. Preserving the goose that lays the golden eggs here. And so, hopefully, yep, I get that wish off on Thundertoes. I'm noticing that when I go back and look at the footage, I'm always thinking of what I would do if I were in this game at this moment. And in some of the previous games, I would say, okay, this is the good time to wish. And I would see myself not wishing, but I'm starting to see that less and less, which means that my Umbreon game was getting cleaner as the tournament progressed. Which is really cool to see in real time. Here we're going to try and steal some of these birds. That's XP that our opponents won't be getting if we are successful. Oh my goodness. Gamer Gabby and Thundertoes just obliterated that entire pack. I did not even see what happened. That is crazy. Oh, that's super unfortunate for our opponents. Oh, Hydro Typhoon there, and I don't have my Moonlight Prance to eat it. We really shouldn't be staying here for too long. We're highly over-leveled, and we don't want to give our levels back to them. Unfortunately, DJ Dog does go down. I think he was only level 11, which tells you what a monster this Venusaur is right now, given that he's a higher level than Sokovan the jungler. Thundertoes unfortunately walks out of the range of my wish. It does land on Sokovan, which is useful. Okay, I get him with that second one. Very important to wish him there, because Phobos has snipe arrows. You know, Phobos' play wasn't the cleanest here, but unfortunately I don't have the greatest zoning capabilities. Luckily we do get the Regirock. See, that's super annoying. Like, all I can do is stand in front of him, but the way Decidueye works, his arrow would pass right through me, so unless I can literally kill him, there's nothing I can do to stop him from firing that arrow. Whereas if I were playing Crustle, I could X-Scissor him into a wall, I could try and... I mean, I could surf him with Slowbro, I could put him to sleep with Wigglytuff, but with this guy, there's only like half a second of crowd control that I can offer, and I just have to pray that it falls at the right moment. We've almost got Thundertoes at level 13, which is fantastic, because that's when he gets a second move there. I got a little sidetracked here. I should have thrown that wish at Gamer Gabby a lot earlier. Now they don't have... Ah, nuts. I think that was entirely my fault there. I had the wish open, but I chose to charge in front of Thundertoes so that he wouldn't tank. I should have just trusted him to know not to go headfirst in while I stayed for just an extra half second to wish our Cerulege. Okay, so no jump pad for me. Running away here. Be sure to wish Thundertoes so they don't pressure his life total. And I come back and pressure Dariel on the Dodrio. Because if he doesn't go down fast enough, then the Venusaur goes down. We can't have us losing all of that experience. Same here. That's what your job is as Umbreon, is you go step in front of people, you heal them, you foul play in on your opponents, pressure their life total, anything you can do to stop them from lowering the HP bars of your teammates. Here we're desperately calling retreats because we're pushed up a little bit too high. That is the problem with our team, is we're so good at diving even into goals of our opponents that sometimes we can get just a tiny bit in over our heads and get punished for it. So now that I'm back at the front lines, we're right where we need to be. Get this wish off on Thundertoes, perfect. And Sokovan backed up instead of chasing them into the jungle, which is fantastic. We're hoping that people come down and try and get this Regice with us. I took an arrow there. The X speed. Okay, valiant effort from Phobos there on the Decidueye. But unfortunately for them, that is one dude KO'd. We just saw Yu-Joe on the Blastoise up there trying to score on us in the top lane. Catburger on the Pikachu died here. We've got the Ho-Oh, but yeah, we see a little bit too many of their pieces scrambled. So our plan was just insta-rip this. Boop. And from here it's just smooth sailing. There isn't really anything that our opponents can do. Thundertoes ejects to conserve his shield, and there's the 100, and that's all she wrote. So when the game ends... Oh, it takes a while for the team to surrender. Holy cow. That's a little bit surprising because I don't expect these scores to be close at all. Maybe they're just some of the players that just like to play it out until the end no matter what. Which is not my favorite tactic for this tournament in particular, because the shorter they go, that increases your chances of getting in that extra game. But anyway, well played to our opponents there. Model Gecko, Phobos, Catburglar, Dariel, Yu-Joe. It's nice to see you all twice in this tournament. And of course, DJ Dog and Gamer Gabby were fantastic, but I think, at least according to the statistics, we really did just have a weapon of mass destruction in this over-leveled Venusaur that the opponents really never found an answer to. And it did end up with the most kills in the game and the highest damage of the game. Though, our other teammates were just as respectable. Those are fantastic numbers. Alright, let's move on to the very final match of the Rayquaza Cup for the usual suspects. And here it is. We finally reached it. Match 8, the final game of the Rayquaza Cup 10 7-1 run of the usual suspects. And here we are teamed up with players we have not seen thus far, Dex Sims and Sabrina C. So we're going with a double defender composition yet again. However, this Lapras is not wearing the XP share, which means it can keep a decent level throughout the game, hopefully. And only fitting that Sabrina C would pull out the missing main Pokemon of our missing comrade of US Lakshmi. So we're gonna get to play with a Sylveon after all. This is fated. Now let's see, because I don't remember what our opponent's picks ended up looking like in this draft. Which, by the way, I did not capture. The items look pretty good all around. I am, of course, guessing that is a Hyper Voice Sylveon, but there's a chance it could be Mystical Fire. Alright, so we've got no tanks from our opponents this time. We've got a Comfey on Model Gecko and Phobos. So it seems that we found these guys in all 3 of our final games. Alright, but this time we are being paired against the trio of Theron Grimm, Bandit Mom, and Glyphic. And Bandit Mom is a blue ribbon Leafeon, so Leafeon could be really devastating in the early game. And of course he's paired with 2 incredibly insane all-rounders right now, so that Comfey's going to be putting in work regardless of who he's on. If that Greninja gets well fed, Greninja can really take out Pokemon like it's no one's business. So even though they are a little bit untraditional in the sense that they don't have tanks, I wouldn't underestimate them at first glance. Shout out to Model Gecko for running Slow Smoke on Comfey. That is a very good item on that Pokemon specifically. Alright. Let's skip past all the boring stuff. Yeah, we get farm. I X-speed before getting to the goal. What is this? This looks like a beginner match. I also accidentally picked up too much, but I do steal my opponent's Indeedee, which is awesome because they have a Magikarp. Now, what is also awesome is that I don't die. That would have been horrendous because the enemy has a Magikarp. So here, Thundertoes gives me that farm, and unfortunately walks away from it, or maybe fortunately actually, because that allows me to evolve into Umbreon. Now, I didn't find a good way to not secure that, which means I have 10 energy instead of 5 again. However, because the Leafeon fell to the unfortunate circumstances of having cleared their jungle slightly faster than Combuskin, that means that he dived into us a little early and was unprepared for Sockman's counter gank. And so the enemies are in an even worse position than they were before, and here is the 4th Umbreon stack. Oh, goodness. However, Bandit came back to the bottom lane, which is something I never expect for some reason, for the jungler to just come running back. But it happens so often just because I think it's just a mental thing, you know? You gank, you die, you get angry, you know that there was more that you could do, and you go back to prove it. It's not so much a reasoning that goes on, it's just more of a gut feeling. I used to be a jungler so long ago, way when I was new to this game. It's been a while. I'm a much better tank. My habits are more geared toward that playstyle. And we are doing fantastically here. Now, the problem is we're late to the mid-birds. The good news is that's a Charcadet fighting off a Blaziken. And finally their jungler arrives. I was slightly far away. He might have been able to kill Thundertoes there if he had hit him a few more times, but it looked like his moves were on cooldown, and therefore, instead of killing the Ivysaur, it evolved it. Here I'm trying to zone, trying to get us some scores. Whoops. Oh. I don't know. Just a sec. I'm actually curious. 32, we went 30 and 6, an overscore of 4. That's a little bit unfortunate. I think Thundertoes was maybe looking at my points. If we had matched that a little bit differently, that would have been a tremendous overscore, but we were under pressure. It happens. Whoa! That raised my blood pressure a little bit. I thought that Leafeon was going to get a kill on one of these guys, but luckily our XP was conserved. The one who was supposed to die was the one who died. All is good. I don't know if I meant to call that out, leave the defense to me, because I'm definitely not doing any defending. I think I meant to say heading to the bottom path, and then I realized, oh, these two guys have it at the bottom. I might as well go try and defend top. And here, I see Sabrina and Dex Sims for the very first time. They're looking okay, they're both level 7. Ooh, I eat an Emerald 2-step, so I have to back off and heal for a little bit. But I can't leave the fight without guaranteeing we lose this Regieleki. So I'm going to come in and try and be a nuisance. Works well enough. Alright, we lose Dex Sims, but the other two are doing well on HP. This is an overscore of, what, 16? I'll take it. It would have, of course, been nice for me to have scored there, because I'm only on 4 stacks, but 4 is a good minimum in my mind. If the opponents are not opening up a lot of opportunities for me to score, I'd rather be at 4 than 3 for sure. So here I decided to clean up the mid-birds just because I don't want our opponents taking them. They've already got birds in lane that showed up closer to their goal than away, and they're so busy. Yeah, they're not here. But I'm hoping that our opponents were so busy defending up there that they'll let me sneak in this 40, and that'll be huge. Yes, that almost levels me all the way to 10. And it gets me my needed 5th stack. So that is fantastic. That was a really good way to take advantage of the situation. And unfortunately, I see we're losing in the top lane, but I also see that we're losing so hard that me starting to travel over there was not going to be fast enough. So that's the reason I saw that they were losing and I didn't start making my way over. The only way that I would be relevant if I started heading up is if the opponents pushed into the second tier goal, which we see that they didn't. They could have, but they didn't. And so my decision was justified. Now here, I don't notice the Leafeon. He could have assassinated Thundertoes there. In fact, Thundertoes does go down, unfortunately. But here with Soccerman, we should be able to rip this. Nuts. Yeah, that was a little bit sloppy for me. I don't know why I didn't expect the opponents to be coming in from the jungle. Alright, that was a good foul play, though. It's important to acknowledge what you did right, but even more important, it's important to acknowledge what you did wrong so that you can have that at the forefront of your brain for the next time you play. I think that's the reason that my plays with Umbreon were, for the most part, getting a little smoother as we went through the tournament. Every now and then I still make a rookie mistake. Now here I failed to get on the Lapras Express. No one plays this Pokemon, I'm not used to it. It was so good at around this time last year, but it really had a fall from grace when it got nerfed. In fact, I think it might have gotten nerfed twice. So here we're trying to deathball this. Just collapse this goal and make it so that there's nothing that anyone can do. Oh, his little Leafeon tries all by himself. See, this is... Okay, that's good. That's a good unite there. That was the one way he could stop himself from getting killed. And look at how strong Gyarados is. For a second there, he was doing a number on all of our HP bars, and he was doing just fine, but eventually we caught up to him. Cerulege with a Comfey on it. I'm trying to call out retreats here. Most of us are retreating, but I should have been closer to my allies here. Again, that could have been bad. Okay, so now it's all about farming. I'm already level 12, and I didn't use my Moonlight Prance, which means I don't need to farm it back. But, given as there's nothing else to do for this last minute, except for hit to that bottom objective, which we have 30 seconds for, we might as well pick up all of the farm that we can. I probably should have stuck with Undertoes here. Or rather, he should have stuck with me, because my passage to the bottom was a little bit more logical of get the ones that are farther away from the objective and move toward the forward ones. In his defense, was he getting lanebirds? No, I'm not entirely sure why he took that path. Maybe it was clear to me back then. It's not now. But regardless, we are all here waiting for the objective, and since we are here first, we set up the ambush. They lose a very important player there in that Sarah ledge. Now, I go down instead of giving them my Unite move. So this is actually kind of important. We all choose to die instead of giving our Unite moves back. There was a little bit of a fight going on in the center there. I really hope that we retreat to heal the Sylveon. Okay, that's fine. Now here, the reason I'm lingering is because I want to see if they were doing any last minute pressing. And once it becomes clear that they weren't, alright, good job Sabrina making sure that they're entering this fight at full HP. That's fantastic. Fantastic. I went over to poke the Rayquaza, just to draw them out. Try and eat any shields there that the Sarah Ledge gained with Moonlight Prance. Leafeon is not very good in the late game fight. Unfortunately, the Blaziken goes down to, I want to say Greninja? Oh yeah, Phobos was shurikening him from very far. My intention was to wish, but even if I had gotten the wish off, that wouldn't have done enough. Okay. I did well there to get in the way of Bandit, because I don't want him collapsing on Venusaur. Here I'm trying to draw him away from my allies, and it completely pays off. They had apparently no idea that our team was ripping it, or someone was ripping it, but don't outsecure a Venusaur when he has perfect time to line up his shot. So what am I doing here? I'm trying to get them closer to our goal, not only because I'm safer in my goal, but also because that's one of our jump spots. So I know that I don't need to score. Glyphic did well to strip my shield, make it so I can't score, and man, what a titan this Gyarados is with a Comfey. It nearly kills Sokovan here and me, and we finally take it down with a well-placed Solar Beam, but it took 3 of us. But that's okay, because now the fight is over. We have secured the final Rayquaza, and we have won the final game. So this was a really, really cool run here in the RayCup, and we learned a lot, and it was really satisfying having our pre-game planning pay off. And we knew what our strategy wanted to be going in, and even though there were still a lot of mystery factors, I think we executed what we could have known about very, very well. And I'm hoping that we only get better from here on out. So this was really, really fun. I really encourage anyone who hasn't tried out a Rayquaza Cup to come and join these, because you don't need to have a team of 5. You can do it with a team of 2. You can do it with a team of 3. You might even get on one of our teams and get a free win. Ha ha ha. Nah, just kidding. I'm hoping that by getting more information out there about the Rayquaza Cups, we actually lift the general level of the teams that we're facing. Just pull it upward so that it reflects a more competitive scene in Pokemon Unite. But this game's cool. I mean, a team can be lower level than you, but if you mess up on the right things, you can still lose the game. And in some ways, that's stressful and unfair. And, I mean, those are both true, but in other ways, it stops the games from ending at the 2-minute mark, you know? So you still have to focus on all of those micro stuff. So here you see that based on kills and assists, our team was definitely superior, but there was a lot that still could have gone wrong. And the enemy's numbers, in terms of damage, look fantastic, to be honest. Glyphics and Bandits and Phobos in particular. Which, well done to Phobos. Even without his typical Ho-Oh pick, which might have been banned out. Yep, it looks like our team banned Ho-Oh, so... Oh, I'm sorry, Model Gecko was the Ho-Oh main, so he switched to Comfey. Did some pretty cool things. Alright, but anyway, that was the last game. Thank you guys so much for watching if you did make it to the end, and I hope I see you guys at the next Rayquaza Cup. If we're able to make it, we will be there. This is Prince from The Usual Suspects signing off. Take care.